Now on Up North Live, news at 6. It's a rebuild, not a repair. We're talking with local power companies about the monumental task of getting all the power back up after the ice storm.
We have a house, but we have no power, no water, no heat.
A family who just welcomed home their new baby spending a second week in a Montmorency County shelter. You'll hear their story. Plus, it's back. A popular pedestrian bridge is back open. And a Grand Traverse County commissioner will not be charged after a sexual assault investigation. You'll hear from the special prosecutor who made that decision.
This is UpNorthLive News at 6 on 7 and 4.
It's a case we've been following for months. Grand Traverse County Commissioner Rob Hentschel was being investigated for allegedly sexually assaulting a woman. Now we know Hentschel will not be criminally charged. Our Allie Baxter spoke with the special prosecutor who made that decision and explains why.
I looked at everything that was available to me, and when I looked at it, I did not have a firm belief that I could prove this case.
Sarah Swanson has been the prosecuting attorney for Montmorency County for more than a decade. In January, she took on the responsibility of deciding charges for a case that didn't happen in her county.
I knew it was going to be difficult, but it's something we do for our neighboring prosecutors.
The Attorney General's office asked Swanson to take a look at a Grand Traverse County case, a criminal sexual conduct or CSC investigation by Michigan State Police involving County Commissioner Rob Hentschel.
There was a lot, so it took a lot of time just to go through that initially. Then I asked for follow-up. There were a few things that I thought we could do more. And so then they did that for us.
Swanson says the timeline for her decision is based on how quickly she can receive the evidence she needs. She says initially Hentschel didn't make a statement, so her office reached out for one. They were also waiting on lab reports.
I mean, if we can't prove the case, it'd just be unethical for me to bring it. To put somebody through that trial, to put jurors through it, to put witnesses through it, to use all the resources of the state and the county in a case that we can't win. It would be just unethical.
In your experience as a prosecutor, are CSC cases kind of hard to prove?
Yes, criminal sexual conduct cases are hard to prove, and that doesn't deter me. I know sometimes that they're going to be hard, and sometimes I do believe the evidence supports a conviction, but I know a jury might not convict it. I wouldn't let that stop me. In this case, I didn't believe with the evidence I had that a reasonable jury would find him guilty. I didn't pursue this case. But I don't want to discourage anybody. These are tough cases. If there are victims of crimes, absolutely come forward. We believe you. We want to hear your story, and we'll do our best to seek justice.
In Montmorency County, Allie Baxter, UpNorthLive News.
Rob Hentschel sent a statement in response to Swanson's decision. He says, in part, quote, "I am relieved by the prosecutor's decision confirming what I've asserted from the beginning. I am innocent of these allegations." We have his full statement on our website, upnorthlive.com.
A missing woman who survived a weekend in the cold was found in Mason County yesterday. This is drone video from the Mason County Sheriff's Office from when the deputies found the woman. The Sheriff's Office says deputies were called to a burned car in Grant Township. During their investigation, deputies found that the car matched the description of a reported missing person out of the Norton Shores Police Department. After rounding up a search crew, the woman was found 5 hours after deputies first arrived. She was about 150 yards from her vehicle, lying next to a downed tree. Deputies learned Thursday evening she became lost and ended up on a long driveway of a seasonal home. That's when the vehicle caught fire and she left the vehicle, became lost, and remained laying on the ground until Sunday evening.
Day 9 without power for some in northern Michigan following that massive ice storm. More than 100,000 northern Michigan homes were in the dark. A lot of progress has been made, but the job isn't over. Today we caught up with 3 of our most impacted power companies who explained to us just how big of a challenge this round of wicked winter weather delivered.
It hit hard and it stuck around, and the damage is devastating.
And it's that damage spread out across a dozen counties that has crew after crew working day after day.
Consumers Energy has been an all hands on deck for the past week and a half, working to restore power to every single customer that was impacted.
And all hands on deck with a storm this big, with this much ice and these many outages, means bringing in some outside help.
We have brought in crews from all over the country, in fact. And at any given time, we have over 1,000 people on our property working to get the power restored.
A lot of help from a lot of different places. It might be tempting to wonder, why wasn't the power back on sooner then? The reality from those on the front lines is this isn't a repair job.
It's not a rewiring or a restore, it is a rebuild. In a typical construction year, we will replace about 800 poles. And in the last 3 days, we've replaced 800 poles.
They aren't alone.
We are at 500 poles that we plan for in a year to replace. And right now we have at least 750 poles that we've replaced in just the last 10 days.
Replacing poles best done when the ground isn't frozen and winter storms don't keep rolling in.
We had another system midweek and we look outside and the visibility was poor yet today.
So getting new poles installed, just like the ground, is a little hard right now. But the crews did that and then had to run new wire, and a lot of it. As of Sunday morning, PIE&G had run more than 545 miles of new wire on poles. That's the equivalent of running a single wire from Gaylord to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As of tonight, both they and Great Lakes are well over 700 miles of new wire, at times through some pretty tough terrain.
A lot of that may have required us to bring out special machinery, such as our amphibious machine, so that we could get into swamp areas to restore damaged poles and wiring in those regions.
Progress is being made, one pole, one wire, and in some cases, one house at a time.
We're not going to stop until we've completed this mission, and we're making meaningful strides every single day.
A big storm, big outages, and a big response that even with all hands on deck is taking some time to address. Patience is being appreciated, as are the shows of support that greet the linemen each and every evening.
The one thing that I want to add is I really want all of our members to know that we're dedicated to safely restoring all of their power, and we're not going to stop until we're finished.
Again, all the companies we spoke to today say the crews working around the clock to get power back up and running will continue, and that warmer, dry weather certainly is speeding up the job. They also say how grateful their crews have been for all of the support, the kind words, the warm meals, and the appreciation for what they've been doing.
And while power has returned to some places, thousands of people in rural communities still need basic essentials. UpNorthLive's Daniel Zivian visited one of the hardest hit counties that is looking for more help from the state.
The ice may have melted in Lewiston, but it's as if the storm hasn't ended. Presqu'île Energy says almost 6,000 Montmorency County buildings are waiting for power to return. Some people are waiting at St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church. I spoke with Forrest Van Pelt, a disabled veteran sheltering with his wife Emily and 1-month-old son Dutch.
We have a house, but we have no power, no water, no heat. And so we've been staying here at the shelter for the last few days. Tried to take my family down to Rose City, where there was power, and we stayed in a hotel for like 4 days, and that gets expensive real quick.
A local bar, Tally's Log Cabin, has also stepped up to help people. Owner Tyler Smith says as the National Guard and linemen have worked the wires, private individuals have made the difference in helping residents.
We've gotten a couple pallets of water from the state. Everything else has been private. Wipes, diapers, hand sanitizer, 5-gallon buckets with lids to transport water, gas cans. The governor did stop by 2 days ago and could see how bad things were, and I'm now more confident that we're going to get the resources we need.
Smith says he doesn't expect fully restored power for another 2 weeks. For now, it's the bar and the church keeping families like the Van Pelts afloat. Forrest says he has barely slept since the storm.
My family's like pleading to, hey, you should get your baby and your wife out of here, because you don't know when the power is coming back on, and that's not a place to bring your baby. So I kind of feel like a failure as far as that goes, but I'm trying to just make it work, because maybe the power will come on tomorrow and I can keep my wife and son with me.
In Montmorency County, Daniel Zivian, UpNorthLive News.
The Otsego County Board of Commissioners approved $100,000 to go towards ice storm cleanup across their county. Otsego County Emergency Manager says line damage is a big challenge, saying Johannesburg alone had 400 power lines damaged that will need to be rebuilt. The allocated money will be used to purchase supplies to support those efforts.
We haven't used much of it. We had to get a generator for the airport to accommodate the lights, and we bought some chainsaws. And then in the same process, the state gave us chainsaws too, as supplement to, so the National Guard could use them. So With that, everything comes with an expense. We may have to rent a forklift to move the cases and paddles of water that are on. So you got to have some funds.
Chief Deming says anyone that is in need of non-emergency assistance should call 211.
More than 800 Michigan National Guardsmen arrived to assist with ice storm damages across northern Michigan. National Guardsmen started to deploy to assist communities on April 3rd. Multiple units are staged at Camp Grayling Joint Maneuver Training Center. So far, the task force has cleaned up and cleared 500 roads, delivered 3,000 meals, and conducted 8,000 wellness checks. They're also working with local and state agency partners, such as the DNR and Sheriff's Office.
We've been working with all the counties in northern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula, doing things from debris cleanup, clearing the roads on debris so that way our linemen can get in and open up the power lines and get to the cell towers. Also doing food and water distribution to the residents of the area. And we've been refueling emergency vehicles. We've been at shelters assisting with shelter assistance and warming stations.
The National Guard says it will remain on the ground, providing support for as long as needed.
UpNorthLive News is looking to honor and thank those who have helped during the northern Michigan ice storm. Whether it's a line worker, a shelter or meal organizer, or even a neighbor, we want pictures of your ice storm hero. It's easy to submit. Just check out the Chime In page under the Community tab on our website, UpNorthLive.com.
Coming up in weather, it feels like winter out there still, but there are signs of a warm-up on the way. A look at that after the break.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.